Hello friends, and thank you so much for joining me. My name is Cynthia Sierra and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe if you like content like this. If you are a returning guest, thank you so much for joining into today's video. We're going to get right into it. The title is Interruptions. So I don't know about for you, but for me, it seems like every single day is full of interruptions. There are some big ones and there are some small ones. I probably am going to get interrupted during this video, so definitely look out for that. But what we do with interruptions and how we see interruptions in our day is a very big part of who we are. I honestly can't see one day where it goes off without a hitch or without any interruptions, whether I am doing the dishes or I am doing laundry, whether I'm trying to get my devotional time in, I'm interrupted at least 5 or 6 times. Somebody needs something, somebody wants something, something happened, somebody fell, there is a sickness, there is somebody who needs prayer. Endless interruptions guide my day. And I have to choose whether I'm going to be stressed out by those interruptions or just go ahead and run along with it. I've mentioned it in other videos. I am a new stay-at-home mom or homemaker, I guess whichever one you want to call it. And I honestly feel like I had very different ideas and you can almost say false expectations of it. I am guilty of going on Instagram or social media and seeing how other stay-at-home moms live their lives, what they did, and I quickly found out that it is not going to go that way for me. I thought I was going to be able to cook at a certain time, do my devotional at a certain time, have certain days to do my laundry, have certain days to clean the house, and have all this extra time to go ahead and do my videos, go ahead and do my separate studies, go ahead and just enjoy some time for me. And that is just not how it's been. I can honestly say that each day since I've been at home for the past month and a half have been go, go, go and full of these little unforeseen interruptions. Most of the time, I'm probably sitting down by 7 or 8 o'clock, and that's actually pretty good for me. Good news is that I have actually been able to go to sleep a little bit earlier because we have a separate routine, so definitely kudos to me on that. I'm very proud of that. Usually we go to sleep at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. I have been going to sleep at about 9:30 after I put Azariah down for bed. So I'm very, very excited about that. But that still goes differently every night. Perfect example, yesterday night, he was supposed to be in bed by 8:45 and actually going to sleep at 9:15 after I read his devotional. Well, we started talking in the bed. We started cracking jokes. We started fooling around, and Azariah did not go to sleep probably till about 10:30, which is not what I want, but this is a perfect example of how interruptions sometimes just sneak their little ugly heads into our lives, and we need to decide how we're going to react to them. Since I don't have an actual job right now, my job is motherhood, and it actually has always been my job, but now particularly being a stay-at-home mom, I'm seeing that this is what I've been called to. This is what God has put in my heart for me to go ahead and do in this season of my life. And even in that, there are going to be some trials and tribulations. And these little set interruptions may sometimes put, I guess you can say, a ripple effect on our lives. Sometimes it sneaks its head in the way of grief, maybe some loss, maybe somebody has been diagnosed with a disability or an issue with a family member. Some of us, our life is totally interrupted by way dramatic things like a death or maybe even a divorce in our family that we were definitely not expecting. And the only thing that we can do in these times is hold on to gospel truths. Just like anything else that happens in our lives, we need to decide whether we're going to go along with it and know that God is in control, or we're going to say that the devil put this in there as a stumbling block and we're going to be miserable for the rest of the time. And if we choose to do the latter of the two, we are going to be discontent and unhappy with our lives and our situation in general. And I promise you, it's going to affect every single aspect of your day, of your week, of your month, and probably of your life. But sometimes, depending on where we are and what we're doing, interruptions are actually a good thing. And they could actually be little blessings that God is telling us, like, hey, you need to pause. I need you to focus on this. And those are the times where they are very welcome and very much needed. Sometimes we are so focused on something that we're gonna get sidetracked and kind of tunnel vision, not seeing the bigger picture of things, not seeing what God has for our lives. So I know that for me, kind of reflecting on the past day, actually the past 6 hours that I've been awake really shows me that there are a lot of interruptions, but you know what? It's okay. And it tells me that I need to make time for the incidentals, for the what ifs. I kind of need to create some blank space in my schedule. Now, I am a very OCD to-do list person. I have to have my schedule. I was brought up in the thinking of you can never sit down. You always have to be doing something. And my husband does say that. John's like, you can never just be sitting down doing anything, because I feel that I'm just not productive and there's always something to be done at every single part of the day. But what if we look at it the other way? And I'm speaking to myself here, guys. If we create some blank space, some quiet time, like I had mentioned in our schedule, just so that in the middle of doing our dishes or in the middle of doing our laundry, if God puts it in my heart to go ahead and text a friend or to call someone, that I'm able to have time in my schedule to go ahead and do that. Or if somebody's having a really difficult time right now and God puts it in my heart for me to go ahead and pray with them, that I have time in my schedule, in my day, to go ahead and pray for that person. If my son is having a really, really difficult time in school, mainly math or language or whatever it is, I'm not going to get frustrated because I have this to-do list, but I have actually created time in my day to be able to help him with his schoolwork, to be able to handle these little things that life throws at me. Now, it's easier said than done because I want to be a go, 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 go. But trying to do this different approach to things really tells me that I need to slow down. A couple months ago, I talked about being minimalistic, and I'm still continuing in that journey. Side note, let me know on the bottom if you want me to do more minimalist videos, which I absolutely love those. So I have a minimalist, not just lifestyle, but mindset. And that also goes along with my schedule. I'm also trying to implement into my life slow living, not really focusing about the quantity of things that we do, but about the quality of things that we do. So whether I'm outside taking a walk with my son and thinking that that's just a waste of time, and I could be doing the laundry, I could be cleaning the dishes, I could be vacuuming, I could be washing the dog, I could be making my bed, I could be doing so many other things, but just enjoying and embracing that time that I'm having with Azariah outside, rollerblading, riding our bike, walking the dog, whatever it is. In this day and age where everything is so go, go, go and rush, we kind of, and I did make another video about this, we kind of feel that our role, we identify ourselves with how much we get accomplished. And it's almost as a badge of honor saying, oh, well, I'm an amazing multitasker. I did this and this and this, and I still have these things to do. But actually taking the slow living approach, meaning being here and present in the moment, whether it's with your husband, whether it's with your children, whether it's just you being present here. I don't know about you guys, but how many times have you tried to read a book or read something in general, your Bible, and you keep reading the same sentence over and over and over, and you have no idea what you read because you're so focused on trying to get it done and not really being here and present and dissecting and really just like enjoying and soaking in what you have just read. So the Bible actually tells us about interruptions, and I have three that I want to go ahead and cover with you guys. The first one is found in Luke chapter 5, verse 19, and this is the story of the paralytic. They went up with his friends onto the roof of Peter and his father, and they actually made a hole in the roof, and they interrupted Jesus' preaching to the crowd because they wanted to lower their friend, the paralytic, down so that Jesus can do a miracle. Now, Jesus could have totally been upset. He could have been very frustrated because here he was in the middle of a sermon, and this guy wants him to heal him in the middle of that. But Jesus enjoys that interruption and takes the time to show the people, not just by his words, but also by his actions. So that interruption was definitely warranted, definitely an amazing one of my favorite stories. Another interruption that we see in the Bible is Mark 22, verse 34. And this is about the woman with the flow of blood. And I believe we all know this one, and we can definitely relate whether you have had a physical illness, a mental illness, or a spiritual illness that you are going through, and you just reach out and you grab the cloak of Jesus or his robe, and you want to be healed because you have been with this burden for so long. Now imagine if that woman with the flow of blood did not want to interrupt Jesus, did not want to make a scene, did not want to be seen. She was so focused on what everybody else thought of her and she did not touch that robe. 100% she was not going to be healed, friend, but she decided to interrupt Jesus in what he was doing because she felt that she knew that he was going to go ahead and answer her prayer. He was going to be able to heal her. So that interruption was definitely warranted again, and definitely an amazing miracle that could not have been done without that interruption. And then the third story that I want to share with you guys is found in John 4, verse 4 to 26, and this is also another one of my favorite stories, the Samaritan woman. Jesus and his disciples had a clear view to where they were going, but Jesus told them, no, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut through or make an interruption into Samaria, and that's where he found the Samaritan woman at the well. If he did not make that interruption or that pit stop on their journey, that woman would not have been healed of her spiritual sin and would not have seen the living water that she so desperately desired and needed. So Jesus decided it's okay to interrupt our day. We're going to go ahead and take this sidetrack. It's going to be a little bit longer, but trust me, it's going to be worth it. And that's the kind of mindset that we need to have. These interruptions in our day are worth it. Jesus puts them there for a reason, and we need to live in the here and now with our interruptions and not be frustrated, but think, what is Jesus trying to tell me in this little bit of time, this little interruption in my life? It's all in our mindset, guys, whether we want to be negative about our interruptions or welcome them with open arms and say, Lord, here I am. What do you have for me in this season? So I hope that you guys are blessed. You enjoy your day. You learn to do slow living and just be present in the here and now. Enjoy those little interruptions, those little breaks that Jesus gives us in the middle of our day. And I will see you next time. Bye.